Hey guys, welcome back to the Grant Mitt Podcast, episode number 79. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to curate and design your dream life. When you're living in your life, if you just operate as is, you work hard, you do your best, good days happen, bad days happen, you react to whatever life throws at you. If you're a talented person and you're an overall good person, you're going to live a good life. Good things are going to happen. You're going to go through challenges, but there's not a likely chance that you're going to really do something that's so impactful, not only to the world, but to yourself and to your family. And here's what I mean by that. If you kind of want something or you kind of work for something, you're going to kind of get it. I've had the chance over the last year or so to start becoming friends with, creating relationships with, great friendships with some of the most successful people in the world. And I'm sure you guys have had the same experience. When you spend even just 10 minutes with someone, whether it's over the phone, whether it's on a Zoom call, whether it's in person, it doesn't take long to figure out why they're successful. Every single decision, no matter how big or small, has reasoning and intention behind it. Meaning, they don't just do things. They don't just randomly go work out at this hour. They don't just randomly jump on these calls. Everything is dialed in to the T. And you have to live with that type of an intention to actually create the top 1% of lives. The world is unbelievable. There's so much incredible people, opportunities, and incredible experiences that you can do if you become the person that's capable of adding so much value to the world that in return you receive those things. But you have to start being intentional about these 4 aspects that I'm going to break down for you in detail so you can implement it and you can create your dream life. And it doesn't take long. Okay, number 1, what type of day-to-day or lifestyle do you want to have? I want you to be as detailed as possible about this. And this was one thing that I was doing because I was so confused when I was trying to, figure out my career, figure out my future life, because I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't grow up with any entrepreneurs and I didn't really know many. I saw them every once in a while, but this new term entrepreneur has become so big and exciting now, but 10, 15 years ago, this wasn't really much of a thing. And so I had to figure out, how do I want to live my life? And what I saw is that whether it was through family or friends' parents or just people that you would see around, I didn't like the way that they lived. It was nothing against them, but I wanted to, at any given notice, go straight to the airport, book the flight while I'm driving there, while I'm in the Uber, and suddenly work in New York for 4 days straight, or suddenly go to this awesome, beautiful place and network with these incredible people, or go work in Europe for a month, or be able to just do whatever I want, whenever I want, and not have to call and ask permission. I wanted that ability. I was okay working 100-hour weeks if I had to, but as long as I was in control of my destiny, that was what made me happy. Now that sounds really great and perfect, but you got to know what comes with that. And that's a whole nother conversation. But that's what made me genuinely happy. It didn't matter if I was making millions of dollars. If I had to report to someone every single week, every single day, if I had to be at this location, no matter what, I just wouldn't have been as happy because I know myself. I'm so hard-headed. I just knew that wouldn't happen. So what did I do? I started studying not only the right people that actually had that same freedom, but I started studying the industries, the sectors, the jobs, and the businesses that gave individuals the ability to create a similar lifestyle. As I started absorbing all of this new information, whether it was from books, people, YouTube, podcasts, whatever I could get my hands on, as I started doing that, not only did I learn more and become more intelligent from learning from these unbelievably talented and incredible smart people, but my mind went in overdrive with creativity that allowed me to go, okay, here's this industry that's booming. I have a passion and excitement for it. Here's how I can craft it into something that I enjoy, where I can work around incredible people, work from wherever I'm at, and become successful and create financial independence. And while it was difficult, while it was challenging, I was able to do that. But why? I was unbelievably intentional about what I was doing, why I was doing it, and the day-to-day items that I needed to accomplish to make those around me successful and create the life that I want. I didn't just hope. I didn't just randomly go on LinkedIn and apply for 1,000 jobs and just hope that, one of the companies that offer me a job, there's something I want to work with. I was intentional. Now, this is not me telling you guys that you suddenly need to become entrepreneurs by tomorrow. I don't think most people should become entrepreneurs. But whether it's your job, whether it's the industry that you're in, you have to think 5 to 10 years out, if not longer. You can't get back that time, and you have to be conscious about why you're doing what you're doing. And then it'll help you create happiness as a byproduct of that decision. 2, what type of friends and people do you want to be around? I've found nothing impacts your life more than the people you surround yourself with. Growing up, my family at one point moved, and it was interesting because the city that we moved to, 2 or 3 years prior, we were actually playing them in sports, and we were driving through the city, and I said something, and this is why you gotta be careful what you say. I said, man, I don't think I'd ever want to live here. 2 years later, I ended up moving there. But what was interesting is the people that lived in that city were so incredible, so kind, so giving. And people that are still my closest friends to this day lived there. And I ended up meeting and building such amazing relationship that I didn't care where I was living because I was around such amazing people. No matter where you live in the world, if you want to make your life better in 30 days, just find better people to surround yourself with. And for each one of us, that's going to be a different type of people that have different values, that have different religions, have different views, different perspectives, and do different things in life. But we have to be intentional about what type of people are they? What do they like? What do they don't like? What are their non-negotiables? What are yours? And the reason why we end up in these random toxic friendships and groups and around people that don't serve anything in life, that aren't good for you, is because you have a conversation with someone, y'all have something that you guys suddenly agree about, and then suddenly you end up in this random group for a year straight that's not good for you or them. Why? Because you're just floating. You're not intentional about what you're doing. So write down, what are the types of people that you want to be around? What do they do? What things do they have? For example, here in Austin, I have a couple of really good friends that are just really into fitness, into running. And what they told me was, they said, Grant, you would never imagine how incredible the running community here is in Austin. And I'm like, really? And they said, yeah, no, it's like every single person here is doing something incredible with their business, with their careers, starting their own companies. Everyone is sharp, witty, just fun to be around, supportive. It's like, man, my life has improved so much in just the last 3 months, and I'm literally just a beginner, and everyone wants to help me. I was like, really? So all they did is join a running club, and these are people, some of them were just unbelievable athletic, and other people had never probably ran more than 3 miles in their entire life. And suddenly their entire life was shifted because of the community that they decided to put themselves into. Proximity is power. And when you're around really motivating, supportive, talented people, it's going to rub off. They will hold you accountable because they won't surround themselves with you if you're not that version of that type of person either. You have to be conscious of that. 3 is in relationships, who you date, who you marry. There's a saying that says, if you're going to buy a house, pray 1 time. If you're going to go to war, pray 2 times. And if you're going to get married, pray 3 times. Nothing is more important than who you marry, who you date, and who you have serious relationships with. your energy combines. If you've ever noticed people who are married, their faces literally start looking like each other. They start looking alike because the mirror neurons, when you're both looking at someone continuously all the time, they start matching and you start looking alike. You start doing the same things. You start eating the same food. You start going around the same types of people. So if you're dating or in a relationship with someone that's negative, that's anxious 24/7, that for every good thing that happens, they got 5 more negative things, it's going to rub off on you. It doesn't matter how great you are, how positive you are, and how meaningful the things that you do in life are. If you are dating or continually date people that aren't good, not only is it a reflection on your decision making, but it means that you are not having clear, concrete, non-negotiables, or you're not clear about what you actually want out of your relationships or your life. So give yourself clear-cut intentions about how to improve this. Let me give you a couple examples of how you can do this. In the notes of your phone, or even get a notebook and write down what your ideal partner is. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever you want out of life. Figure out what they like, what their values are, what they even look like, what people they surround themselves with, what type of careers do they have. I know someone that's in a relationship, and because of their work schedules, they never see each other. One works overnight and the other one works in the daytime, so they never actually get to spend much time with themselves. How can that create a happy relationship? I don't know how they're doing it, but I guess life's full of choices, right? So down to the T, if these things don't align, how can you actually be happy? The bulk of happiness and the bulk of success in your business career and your friendships and relationships has to do with intention and the setup. You have to set the stage for a good opportunity or for good results to happen. Like, for example, working out 3 to 5 days a week isn't going to guarantee you anything, but I guarantee the pendulum is going to swing in more of a direction where you're probably going to be more mentally tough, more focused, more happy, and more successful. Why? Because there's been 1,000,001 studies that say this, that people not only live longer, but are more happy and successful when they work out. You see what I mean? It doesn't guarantee anything, but all of these 4 things that we're discussing are going to create, and the byproduct of those decisions and that lifestyle is going to result in happiness and success. It starts with your decisions. Okay, number 4. What do you want to give to the world? Studies have shown not only does giving create financial abundance personally for you, but it makes you happier. Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. He talks about a story where he was at his lowest point financially, and he had, I think, $17, $13, something like that, and said, you know what, like, I have no more money. I might as well go to this all-you-can-eat buffet place and just eat as much as possible. And he had enough for, I think, two people. So basically like 2 different times, right? But when he was in there, he walked in and he saw this little kid that was eating with his mom, and he went ahead and paid for them. And he said it was the most abundant he's ever felt. And he said something really kind, and he went about his day. And he said, I kid you not, later that day, he got a call from someone that owed him money, and suddenly they sent him a check or something in the mail for $2,000 or $3,000, and it actually trickled down into just success and abundance and everything. But it was at that moment of his lowest point of his life where he decided to give and create abundance, and that's when abundance came towards him. When you give, I don't know what it is, but the best people in the world are just massive at giving. And you don't have to tell anybody. You can keep it private, but your blessings in life will multiply. And if nothing happens and you just make the world a better place, trust me, it's worth it. I've seen more and more unbelievable opportunities come to not only myself, but my family and the people around me, simply because I just chose to help people without ever wanting or trying to get anything in return. Just give. Find ways to give. I don't care if it's $1, $10, or not even that. It's your time. It's your energy. It's a word of advice or just positive affirmation to a friend that's maybe going through a rough time, that maybe just lost their job or maybe went through a tough breakup. Giving creates abundance, creates happiness, not only for you, but the people around your life. I want you guys to start simplifying every single thing that you're doing and look at all your decisions out of the last 60 to 90 days and go, am I happy doing this? Does this group of people, do they make me a better person? Do I really enjoy working around these individuals? Is the people that you hired at your company, are they the right fit? You have to be conscious about these things. And the rule that I've always given myself, especially as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, because I'm hiring and recruiting and firing and doing all of these things because I'm always having people on my teams, is if I cannot make the decision to remove the wrong people from my life, I do not deserve the right ones. And if I cannot make or have the difficult conversations in business, then I likely don't deserve, nor am I capable of doing anything bigger in life that's going to require a better and bigger and more successful and talented version of myself that maybe I'm not yet there. You have to be willing to make those difficult decisions. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. As always, you guys can find me on all my social media channels at Grant Mitt. There's so much exciting new interviews, podcasts, and just so much value that I'm going to give to you guys. My goal is to make it so much that you're confused while I'm just giving you so much great things for free. You know, I've been through quite a lot in life, as I'm sure you have as well. And one of the things that really makes me inspired and feel like I'm adding something to the world is if I went through 5 years of all these challenges and I can make a 30-minute or 20-minute video, and just by you learning them, you don't have to go through those things, and you can make your life and your family, better and in a, an incredible situation, then that's a no-brainer. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope to see you guys soon for episode, 80. This has been going by so fast. Look forward to seeing you guys then.